Good day, good evening, good night, and good morning if you're in the future tennis world, as Janina likes to consider you, which is that you are east of the prime meridian, which means you are in Europe and in Asia. That's future time for Janina. Welcome to our 133rd podcast. I think I'm absolutely correct on this. And it's a live podcast, so we are bringing you in because, Janina is tired and she's a mom, so it's very hard to, I don't know what that's all about, but and Andreen is
more
traveling
like
as
she
usual.
works and she got up early. That's what it is.
Seems like personal problems to me. I'm not sure why it should be affecting us at all. And I don't think Andreen is home where she should be. But you know how she likes to gallivant, as she likes to say. So welcome to our 133rd podcast. It is tennis Oktobermess because it is pro tennis. And whenever we are away, it is just a hot fucking mess. Sometimes I think we should do a podcast every week just to save tennis from itself. But I mean, tennis gotta pay us though. I mean, I'm just saying we can't be putting out content every week for nothing just to save tennis from its messy self. But anyway, before I go any further, let me introduce my co-hostesses with the mostesses. We have Andreen from Solely Tennis Travel. How are you, girl?
Good. I've traveled. So that's me living my best life right there.
Are you safe in a safe place?
I'm in Minneapolis. It's cold. Ooh. So
get your knees and your bath. Get everything ready, okay? Think of it like when you travel out of a blue state. Think of it, you're going to like the zombie apocalypse, okay? Just be prepared. Be prepared.
I don't look anyone in the eye. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I don't know, but just be prepared for anything. Anything crazy can jump off. And we have Janina from Farn, Ohio. How are you, girl? Well,
I am also so cold.
You're cold?
I'm cold. Yes,
I mean,
it's cold.
I don't know what it is because my landlord, the building people, they were just waiting for the temperature to hit below 60 and they are blasting the bloody furnace like a fan in hell. I am literally sweating. My fan is on.
Oh my god.
If it wasn't too much trouble to plug in my AC again, I would be plugging it because it probably would steam up because the AC is overweight irradiated. They have turned this shit up to the max. I'm not even sure. I think by when it's 0 degrees, we won't have any heat because they just wasted all the good heat by now. But
at least you're not using an oven, so there you go.
Well, that's true. Actually, I don't mind it being cold because I sweat like, I mean, I was going to say something, but then why people might get crazy. But of course, it is
my God.
Homosexual of the podcast. Realz is here for you. And we have our live audience. We decided to do something, shake it up a little bit. Nothing special, no major, no slam. Oh, yeah, the WTA finals. I guess that kind of counts. So we decided to do a live event for you on a Friday evening because, Realz is single and he's not mingling. At least not now. But, ladies, I know we're on a tight schedule. So let's get right into it. So while we were away, apparently tennis happened. Mm-hmm. And I know. So there are some events happening. Apparently, Bernard Tomic decided he's going to be interested in tennis this week, or at least that week. And he came through qualies, got all the way to the final in Chengdu. Mm-hmm. And he beat Fabio Fognini. Ooh. And I don't know, I haven't seen much of Bernard since then, but good on Bernie for getting some points, some money, and getting a title in the. I mean,
wow.
So he got his life together. I know much of you ladies don't watching tennis because it's in the future, but I have been watching tennis for all of you and all of us. And to be quite honest, in some of these matches, I think I was the only person watching except the officials and the players.
Oh my god,
that part of the year, hon.
I mean, I just gotta say, look, it's not like tennis fans are mentally appearing in the stands. I'm just saying, if you're gonna put a tournament in Asia, get some people, give away free tickets, people. Give it away.
We say this every year.
But it's not just Asia. It's not just Asia. Let me just see. Some of those stands have been empty all over the globe. It's not just Asia. Stop
Let me tell you something. I mean, swear to God, sometimes I think between the officials, the players, and their team, if you take those people away, that group have more people than people who paid to actually come to the match. It's insane. And sometimes when they have concurrent events, you can't even put the two groups together to fill up a section. I'm just saying, get some little kids in there. They'll be screaming their head off, throwing popcorns. They'll make it interesting. Just give away some free tickets, at least for the first year after. I'm just saying. Anyway, God is real because, you know, Bashvili beat Delpo. Sorry, just keeping it real, just saying. So Delpo, but he was kind of ill, so I kind of felt bad. He was coughing up his lungs. I was kind of surprised he showed up the next week. But anyway, Bashvili, Basilashvili, if I'm saying it correctly, had a really good week, and he beat Delpo in straight sets. I mean, he snatched that because Delpo was really trying, but you can really see that he was really ill.
Was he?
In Tokyo,
ill or hurt? I thought he had a broken kneecap.
No, he was later on, but I think he was coughing up and hacking germs all over the place. I mean, look, I couldn't have been a ball boy. I'm telling you, they would have kicked me out.
I know, look, the whole time.
It's bad enough I gotta deal with your sweaty self. Then you coughing up all over the goddamn place, touching everything. No. I don't even get paid much just to get insurance. Hey, okay? You cannot be doing that. You need to go home. Tokyo event, K came through to the finals, but unfortunately Medvedev was not having any of that shit. He was like, fuck you, and I'm gonna spoil your home tournament. Medvedev came through and took that title in straight set. He was kind of like, he was feeling a little off, but you know what? Once K's on the court and he's not calling the trainer, I'm happy. Just saying. Once he's moving and he's not in a wheelchair, I am just happy. So ATP, I'm just gonna put it out there. K should be getting comeback player of the year every year. Okay, because when he come back on the court, that's just saying a lot. Okay, because he's made of glass. Just telling y'all. Just a little hint for the, you know, all ATP awards. In Shanghai, well, that was a little messy, but you know, Novak came through. Novak on that juice again. He's back to being juggernaut, and he took out Chorich, Pon at Chorich, who was feeling himself because he beat Federer. That was a pretty solid match. Federer was playing C-level tennis, but that was good enough to get him to the semis. The same. And
your Federer shade is the best Federer shade because it's both a compliment and a real pierce in the heart. Thank you.
I mean, let's just keep it 100, right? And this week we have a couple tournaments happening. We're not in France, but apparently all the French boys decided to show up in close proximity in Anvers. I think that's in Belgium. The European Cup. Is it there? Like somewhere in Europe. They have a tournament going on somewhere in Europe. So in the Moscow finals, you had semifinals, sorry, on the men's side. Medvedev is playing
look at Med.
Yes, he took Federer to task. He was not fucking around with Federer. Federer was fighting his ass off in every single round.
Yeah.
Medvedev was like, you know, crazy. He's racist, but you know, he's not fucking around. He's not fucking around at tennis court.
I guess you just assume that is somebody's default position. How do we know he's racist?
Well, there was some shit. He made a big story, I think, last year or the year before at a challenger tournament. He did that Leighton Hewitt shit was just like, I think this ball person is I think the official is playing favoritism because he's playing Donald Young actually. So he said the official was favoring Donald Young. And perhaps I think he said something extra because they didn't really add it in the article, but there was a conversation. I think he said something to the lines person, and then the lines person was just like, I am playing this shit. Spoke to the umpire. Umpire was not having it. I think the umpire was black. I think that's what it was. Not a lines person. The umpire was just like, bitch, you ain't paying me enough for this shit. Call the tournament supervisor, and he got the fuck out of there. It was in Antwerp. Thank you, lovely drama girl. Oh, Bree's here, girl. Look at you. You come just for these Divadal shit, right?
No,
I know it, Bree. So yeah, Medvedev is playing Chachanov, and Manarino is playing Seppi. And in Anvers, Monfils and Sanger are back. They're playing. They look healthy-ish. Well, as healthy as can be expected. You know, they're the glass boys.
Oh,
but look. Tsonga always looks fast. I'm just
No, he
saying.
don't.
I mean, with that
No, he
booty.
don't.
Wait, I live in a world where Monfils beat Tsonga? Dang.
Well, yeah, actually, Monfils took a dip in the second set, but Monfils was all over that match. Monfils was just like, if I can't beat the most sickly player, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing out here. Okay. I need to get my life together. Okay. So he got his life together. And yeah, I know you had a sad face, Janina. Your boy, because I shared Delpo. Delpo slander. Of course, it's not slander.
We haven't even begun.
I know. You know what I mean, we still have plenty of time to get Delpo, but Monfils beating Tsonga is great news because Tsonga kind of owns him a little bit. So I'm happy.
I was actually surprised at that. But you know how these French boys play with each other, right? Just like, do you want it this week?
I don't know how they do. That's what I'd like to know. But thanks.
Oh, here goes Pablo. I can't.
So in the Anvil finals, semifinals, Monfils is playing Schwartzman. And like you predicted, Andreen, Schwartzman is getting some fans. People out there talking about, how Schwartzman look. I'm telling you. Hobbits are real people. Hobbits are real.
Yeah.
Great.
A lot of the rings magic. And Kyle Edmonds, who is apparently British #1.
Ooh.
Go figure, right? Yeah. He's taking on Gasquet, who kind of made that match kind of complicated in the semifinal, but he came through. And we are in Stockholm. Let me just give a shout out to Philippe Kohlschreiber. I'm doing my Judy a good favor here because she don't know how to represent her man. I'm just saying happy birthday, Philippe. I'm just letting you put it out there. If you want to put the surprise, I got it in a box for you, okay, boo? Because Janina, you know to take care of her man. Just putting it out there, Coach Schreiber. I know you listen to this podcast.
Wait a minute. I think Friday night, fall Friday night Realz is real gritty.
I'm drinking. I'm sorry.
I thought you were the only one stalking Coach Schreiber, but I guess you're in there too.
Look, I stalk Coach Schreiber. Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there.
But he lost. He lost to Tsitsipas.
That's not the point. Coach Schreiber always lose. Coach Schreiber winning.
That was very angry, Realz. Oh my God.
That's the point. Anyway, in Stockholm, Tsitsipas decided he won't play tennis this week. He's going to try to be channel some hippie vegan bullshit. Whatever.
Him alone.
What's that other thing? Not hippie. They call him what? Not bros. It's another thing.
Granola?
I have no idea what you're
crunchy granola. There's a hipster. Yeah. Oh.
He's a good hipster. Jesus. I like hipsters generally.
Don't get me started. I gotta save my energy for the WTA Fashion Finals. But anyway, we got Tsitsipas taking on Fognini, and we have Gulbis. I mean, like, I just wish they had defaulted this other quarterfinals, but apparently they got that played. Isner versus Sangren. I mean, wow. It's not even like racist versus less racist. It's just like
it says it's Isner versus Gulbis tomorrow.
That's what I know. I mean, in the quarterfinals, there was that match. Sangren played Isner.
Ooh.
And I was just like, couldn't they just default this entire match and pretend like it didn't happen? It can't happen. But apparently they played it. Isner won it in a tiebreaker. God, I'm not here for Sangren making it on the 12. I don't need to see this motherfucker on the main tour too often.
It's all right.
Let's keep him satellite challenger where he belongs.
It's all right. You're not seeing him that often, so it's okay.
Yeah.
So Gulbis is interested in tennis this week, so we have him in the
Gulbis has been trying for quite some time.
Years, in fact.
Yeah, he
got married, so you know how it works in the ATP. Apparently, marriage works. So.
Well, he's been working through qualies, and now he's back. I mean, it's good. It's good for him. It's good for him. I think there are lots of Gulbis fans out there. Everyone.
I think his motivation is that I'm gonna retire Federer. That's his motivation.
He's not even. They're not even the same planet, so I think he'll be okay.
Well, he gotta get to that planet. No, you can't just roll up in that planet. You can't roll up on planet Fed. He gotta take a train to get there. So he's working on that. So this week on the men's side, we have Basel coming up, and we have Vienna. Novak decided he's not gonna play in Vienna or troll Federer and play Basel, he's
thank
gonna
God.
save his shit for Paris.
That's fine.
Because we both know the defending champion ain't gonna show up in Paris, right?
Who's
I mean, Jack Sock, you should bow out gracefully, boo.
I
Bow
mean,
out.
this is where Jack Sock makes his major fall from grace.
I don't know though. He's been playing better. Maybe Magic will strike twice.
He won one match this week.
Injury.
He won one match this week. Okay, let's just be clear. He won a match this week. So this puts his grand total for 2018 at 7.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
So we have Basel and Vienna this week, and Paris being the last official tournament on the men's side. And then we have the ATP November is in Milan and London. So we got, I think we have another podcast to discuss. On the ladies' side, well, it's just about Sabalenka beat Kontaveit in Wuhan. Tashkent, Gasparin beat Potapova. In Beijing, Waz beat Sevastova.
Lovely.
In Linz, Georgie collected some money to pay her debtors. I don't like making that joke, but I mean, like, Georgie, I don't want to talk about how you be looking, but, you know, let's talk about your money. She beat Alexandrova. I mean, these Russians are all over the goddamn place. I mean,
it's because there's a lot of them.
In Tianjin, Garcia realized that if she ain't win some tournament this week, coming up in the next couple of weeks, she's gonna be lost. We'll be looking for her like Jack Sock. Because this time last year she was winning everything.
That's true. She had a really nice time.
She hasn't done much shit this year. And so she beat Pliskova in Tianjin and in Hong Kong. Q Wang beat Yevastrenka. She's Ukrainian. I think she's actually taking over for Svitolina because Svitolina don't know how she's doing on tennis court much anymore.
Does she have a new coach yet, Svitolina? Is her coach? Has she settled her coach?
She's got a new diet regimen, which is that we don't eat.
Well, that's everybody's got to try that. Listen, we all live and learn.
People don't know food produces the energy you need to function, right? I mean, I don't know which class people be taking it. As people keep you good, food makes you fat, but you know, forget food gives you energy to do anything. But anyway, Moscow, I don't know why the WTA pushes the tournaments to the very last end, but whereas people are preparing for Singapore, you still have tournament going on right this very
yeah, because
did anyone miss the plane?
Or
the what? Well, no. None of the people here are contented. I mean, they could have there would have been that issue, but you know, Simona Halep did what she always do, you know, plum coat and that whatever mathematic jig you had to do. People had already been qualified, so it was I think Kiki Burton and Pliskova, and that was the iffy last two, and then once
Kiki, but I think Kiki Burton didn't Kiki Burton get in as like a alternate?
Yeah, because
it's true.
Kiki could have it was between Kiki and Pliskova, the one that makes money.
Yes.
So they were thing, but then whereas Pliskova lost early, she lost to Zvonareva, another Russian. Kiki Burton just
Zvonareva winning matches?
Yes.
Yeah, she's getting her life together.
Oh shit. Okay.
And she's out there to tell you all motherhood is normal. Okay. She's doing it all by herself.
Davey.
Okay. She's back. And there are no more tears. I guess the baby she should realize, you know, I'm not a baby anymore. You know, my baby is crying. I can't deal with tears. So I think it was between Kiki and Pliskova. Pliskova could have denied Burton's could have denied Pliskova the spot had Halep showed up. But it didn't matter because Halep wasn't showing up. Apparently she's gonna to an obligation and do press and all of that. I know who checking for Halep, but I guess you know what.
Lots of people are checking
all of Romania.
The number one player in
but they in Singapore. But anyway, so in the Moscow finals, we have Kasatkina versus Unyaber. And in Luxembourg, you have Yulia Gerges, your girl, Andrine, versus Belena Bencic, who's getting her life together.
Oh, nice! I love a Bencic. That's great.
Yeah, I think she came to qualies. I'm not sure. I hope she becomes consistent because she's up and down all over the place. But anyway, that is it for results, right? Singapore starts on Sunday. With Singapore starting for Sunday for us, but on Monday in Singapore. But you know, we still say Sunday.
See, a fucking
and
future
then
shit.
Zhuhai is the following week, which again, you know, I mean, I don't know why Zhuhai keeps happening, but you know, I'm just gonna say I'm happy Zhuhai happened that one time to give Venus that, you know, top 10 points. But beyond that, but you know what? No tea, no shade. Zhuhai always have a better draw than the WTA.
I know. A little bit more exciting. I don't know why.
Exactly. The format is messy as fuck, but
I think one of the first times it was because Venus was feeling herself as Zhuhai.
Exactly. But beyond that, I mean, like, you just have a more competitive people like, you know, let me get some free points and some extra money. Money that I don't, you know what I mean? They're giving away free money here. Why not me show up, you know?
Listen,
and Muggs is there. I mean, it's going to be exciting. So, I think that's about it for the news. So I keep thinking we kind of forgot something major, but I mean, like, I guess the fans will let us know. I see Chad is here. C'est moi. I guess there's somebody French. Maya is here. Bree is here. Pablo is here. Janina is there. And of course, Chad is there. That is the Chad.
Lovely
the only
drama girl is there.
Yes. Oh, sorry. I don't know.
Is lurking in.
Yeah,
probably already left.
No, he's waiting for Delpo. As soon as we say Delpo, he's gonna pop up, watch and see. Anyway, so I guess one of the major things, the more recent news, is that Patrick wrote an op-ed where he's talking about going on about I guess what's the word I should say, you know, on-court coaching. He's trying to advocate for on-court coaching. Now, we talked about this amongst ourselves, and for me, much of what he was saying was just bullshit rhetoric. But I think the final point, I think, is what he made, is talking about the fact that, you know, there is inconsistency in the application of the rules as it applies now.
Oh, I didn't think it was bullshit at all. I'll tell you. You know why? The one thing that stuck out like so much to me, because how many times have I told you that I don't feel that coaches are that important? And he's like, we deserve to be recognized. And I'm like, oh.
Well, no, I mean, when I say bullshit, I should take that back. I would say that he put all of his cards on the table. He gave out a reasoned thing. I don't necessarily think it's well reasoned, but I mean,
well reasoned either. That's the problem with it.
I mean, I don't think it's well reasoned, but yeah. I think put all his cards on the table, but I was kind of disappointed that journalists had of dismissed the shit, just like, you know, this is bullshit. You know, no one could counter him with a well reasoned response. You know what I mean? Whether you disagree or not. And I think, again, what I was most is that the arguments had shifted, because the US Open debacle and fiasco was not about on-court coaching.
I know.
That's not what it was about. That was not what it was about. Because if that were the issue, we would have pointed out the fact that Osaka was getting coaching from Sasha and nothing happened. No one even mentioned it or even look at it. That was not the point. The point of the US Open debacle is that Carlos Ramos gave Serena a game point penalty and, in fact, handed the finals to Osaka.
Well,
breaking the final set.
But let's not go down that. Yeah. Can we talk about his
anyway.
Can we talk about his actual statement, though? Can we talk about it a little bit? His points. I think he had 4 points, and you said that you found them compelling, Janina, or no?
I did. I mean, I think that everything that he said actually is something that has been said here. We talked about being able. You may not agree with his reasoning, but I'm not going to say whether it's right or wrong because it's not happening. But he says, you know, people will tune in to see this. And I saw a lot of backlash, like, we're not here for that. But you know what? A lot of other sports, people do tune in to see the coaches because they just do. You know, some coaches have very dynamic personalities and they are as big.
What sports are people tuning in to see the coaches for? Do they do that for basketball?
I think in basketball they do it. I think in football they do it. They put these coaches on a high pedestal up there with the players, and they see them as important. Remember when Steve Kerr was hurt, the coach of the Warriors, and he was away, you know, and that was huge. Like, how is the team going to respond without their leader? We look at Bill Belichick and the Patriots and how he has built this dynasty. You know, other sports value the coaching that they get to see. Now, one thing I think that Patrick kind of got wrong, and I don't even know if that's really the way to put it, but he did say, you know, like, he talked about thinking that it's going to be entertaining for fans to be able to hear what goes on during the coaching. Yes and no. I don't know if people realize, like, NBA coaches are mic'd and we hear stuff, but there is a whole lot that the networks are not allowed to air. And that is because, you know, then you're giving up strategy, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I just want to say that because I don't know if people realize that, you know, they think, okay, the coaches are mic'd. This is the timeout. So we're hearing what was said. You're really not, you know, you're really not.
And also the idea is
it's not.
The idea is for the coach to be effective. I mean, the coach is these people are celebrity coaches because they're actually good at what they do. The idea that I need to tune into a tennis match to see a coach because it's going to be entertaining, that's such a weird lead, right? Like, that's not the reason.
And I mean, like, and then
I don't think it's weird.
Because here's the thing.
But my point is, we have talked about whether or not it adds value, and he's saying that this can add value. That's my point.
Here's the thing. We don't have to imagine this scenario. We have this on record. It doesn't add any value. It's been going on for a number of years now. Yeah, and it doesn't add any real value.
It doesn't add any real value. No, I think it doesn't add any real value because it doesn't happen across the sport. It doesn't happen with the men, and it doesn't happen with the majors. If this was something
the majors
out there all the time,
Janina, the majors are 4 times a year. It happens.
But that's what everybody wants to win the most.
Correction.
On the women's side.
I follow a lot of swimming and diving. There's no coaching.
There's plenty of sports that. There is in boxing and there is in gymnastics.
But when they go out there, there's not much to be said. I mean, and there is a restriction, like in track and field. There's a somewhat sort of a restriction. There's a barrier because they have to talk to the person in the stands. They can't necessarily come down. But anyway, what I thought was really crazy was that when Patrick then said it must be done in English.
I know.
Get the fuck out of here. That is crazy. I mean, like,
that's him being selfish, though. That's him being selfish because he wants to know what is the strategy.
No,
but here's the thing. But to me, it's the
audience. No, that's not even his approach. His rationale is because English is the international language, and to attract a wider audience, everyone should speak in English. But at the end of the day,
I think that's what
whole point.
I think that's what he's telling us.
I know, but it's dumb. Like, the whole point of coaching is
that's not a point you should even make.
Like, how are you going to?
I think that's what he's saying because that's the politically correct thing to say. But I think really what he means is I want to know what they're saying.
Because when you
and he's like, the audience is only speaking English, but I just think
that's what he's saying. I think that's a cover up for what he really wants.
Well, but it doesn't make sense, Janina. Why would you force someone to speak English if someone's most comfortable language is something else, and the point of the exchange is for the coach to help you? Why
exactly.
Would
because that benefits him. That's what I'm saying.
But it's dumb.
That's why he's advocating for it, because it benefits him.
The problem that I had with the WTA.
That's why Patrick can't be the one. He can't be the one.
It can't be he. It can't be he. He can't be the one. Because here's the thing: the mistake that WTA made, and they would probably make this mistake again if they follow through with this nonsense, is that when you force the coaches to be mic'd, you had a problem, which was very clear in all of the examples, that the coaches are not communicating with the players as they normally would.
Yeah.
Right? There is a sort of a restriction. He might curve how much tone, but he's always playing to the optics, right? And then when they refuse to take off the mic and be like, oh, I forgot, then you have Pammy in the box be like, oh my God, no, you need to put the mic on. That's the rules. And then again, this is going to happen with the English when you force them to speak English.
Why they think it's interesting?
Because when you're advocating,
the court is great enough on the WTA. You don't need all the other side pieces. Honest to goodness, I think it's just an opportunity to insert men into the women's game.
Thank you very much.
I tell you know what? If there were mostly women coaches, they would not want to see 2 women sit around and gaggle. I know they wouldn't, because that's exactly how they think about it. They'd be like, these are
but you know what?
And I don't want to hear
Pat asked a question. Chad asked a question. So, you know, are you anti-coaching or anti-Patrick?
No,
I think
I can be
for
both.
me,
nobody's anti-Patrick.
yeah, you can be both. For me, I'm anti-coaching. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think I like that it's unique to tennis that they don't get that. I like that you got to do it on your own. I think that's part of the game. I think if it's not going to be a part of the game, then it needs to not be a part of all of tennis, not just the women on most of the tour, but not all of the tour. If it's going to be a thing, then let it be a thing everywhere. But me personally, I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I think it's weak sauce. I said that. But I just think you can come up with better reasons for on-court coaching than the ones that Patrick has listed.
Yeah, because to me, when you're talking about entertainment value, you are, by saying that I'm putting that as premium, you're then saying the coaching really done is actually doing the real coaching.
I know.
He done it to entertain me.
I know.
And entertain the audience. And here's the thing, entertain TV audience. Because the people in the crowd can't see shit.
I know.
They don't know what's happening. They don't know. So to me, that's the
I don't believe that. I mean, I don't believe that that's what he. I think he said that just to say it. I don't think it has. I think
we saw this example quite clearly at the Laver Cup, where we as the television audience understood what was happening in the couch area there, but the people who were there, Andreen, didn't really know the dynamics that was happening.
Nope.
Right.
And I mean, that was a completely different. We were enjoying the tennis match in a completely different way.
But that's what Patrick is saying, though. Patrick is saying, I don't understand. I just need to know where. But
that isn't coaching, though. That is just seeing players interact with each other.
No, what I need to know is where are people getting their assumptions about what is entertaining about a tennis match? Like, it feels to me.
Well, he's comparing it to other sports, I think.
But tennis isn't like other sports. It's
never been like any other sport, and it's not going to be. And at the height of its fame, it didn't have on-court coaching. You know what you need is dynamic personalities, and maybe this guy thinks that he's a dynamic personality, so he's going to sub in for the non-dynamic players. But that's not the reason. Like, I don't get it.
Here's the thing, Boo Patrick. Here's the thing, Patrick. Serena wouldn't call you. She wouldn't.
Maybe if she's required to. Maybe
it's a fundamental part of whole strategy, right?
No,
it's a fundamental life.
Point. Maybe the whole point is that he wants it to be required. So even if the player doesn't want to do it, they might actually be required.
He could interject himself and just show up on the court just to say something.
Yeah.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because if you tell the players, I'm sorry, you're required to call your coach at least once. What's the point of doing it if you're not asking for that? You can't make it voluntary. So you might have to say, you know what, at least once per set, you're going to have to call your coach down, even if you don't need him, because that's part of what we're asking. And I'm referring to him as a him because I'm sure that's the only reason why anybody cares about this is guys want to sit up there and basically advertise their skills. I don't really.
But you know what? I sat in a room with coaches and they all said I don't like it.
Of course.
So I just it's
I'm like, who's asking for it? That's why I was asking. I was like, who keeps asking for on-court coaching? The only people I hear talk about it is not real coaches, but I hear commentators ask for it. I hear old players ask for it. I never hear current. Are current players demanding it? I never see anyone post, I wish I could call my coach down. Like, nobody says that. So I'm like, why do we keep getting it pushed?
Or even say subsequently to having called the coach down. Calling the coach down.
I had my coach down there.
Made a difference. To me, it's just more like a strategy just to fight at someone, like to scream at someone and to just get some time.
Patrick needs to get a better letter. Get a better letter. It's not a good case. You can't tell me that coaching is going to be good.
Get a better friend, though. Someone to help you sound the shit through.
I mean, like you said, though, Realz, I agree. The fourth point he made is probably his best point, which was that if we make a decision about on-court coaching, then maybe we'll make a decision about cheating, as Serena would call it, by getting coached from the stands.
Yeah, because here's the thing, and here's the crazy thing, right? And I feel like I'm just going to some kind of crazy world where people just don't understand logic. It's just like the coach can say whatever he wants to say in the box. He's a free person. If there is an interaction between him and the player, if the player is acknowledging what he's saying, then we have on-court coaching. Him just talking is not coaching.
Well, that's
there
not
has to be an
how it is.
acknowledgement between, because fans can say the same shit. I know I've been this time, but like, where's the fucking forehand? Where is the forehand?
But
Like,
you don't
shit.
know anything, so he's ignoring you.
You know what I mean? It's just like, exactly. But I'm just simply saying,
Right.
like,
because we're live, I need to get a sense of the room. Like, what do people think? Do people agree with coaching? Do they want it? Are they
Paul
dying?
said that he's okay with it, but he is not okay with it being mic'd.
What? Well, what's the point of it if it's not mic'd? Like, that's.
I really, because I mean, at a
entertaining
basketball
exchanges,
game,
but
I can't hear what's happening when the coach talk to the players, right? Can I?
no, not if you're live.
Right, and not a football game. So I mean,
They already flashed to the coach in the stands. So if you want just attention for your coaching, sure, you'll get it there. If you want to stand on the sidelines, maybe. I do agree, though, with O's point that the way they do coaching, on-court coaching with juniors is fine. Just off to the side, no big fuss, no big muss. I have to say that's less showy and that feels more authentic to me, because it actually
even
player, not about some weird entertainment value.
Even as whatchamacallit, the Next Gen last year.
Yeah, you get on the
where
mic.
they had like, they were mic and it was just a conversation between two of them, right? And they were, you know,
that's actually kind of interesting, because then it actually is focused on content. And if you're going to talk strategy, then it really does get you. I don't want to see the visuals, but if you're sitting there and your player's got like a headset and you're talking and it's mic'd and you're hearing the person give real concrete strategy, and then the person goes, okay, well, we'll see if we can try it. I mean, maybe there's some, I don't know, maybe there's some value there, I guess. But
I mean, I don't understand this shit about Brad Gilbert wanting a moment to shine. Who talks about a player without talking about their coach? Who does that? We constantly mention that.
People always
the player and their coach. That is the relationship. That's how tennis has always been structured.
It's always
right?
been defined by the coach. I mean, we don't talk about Djokovic without Boris. We don't.
Marian Vida.
Yeah, so it doesn't make sense to me. So they're already a part of the conversation. I mean,
the player always like Simona won't shut up about Darren, and he ain't doing shit.
Well, nobody will shut up about Darren, so it's not even Simona. Everyone talks about
Oh my god!
I mean,
I gotta save my energy from.
Did Darren pay everyone to talk about him? Because people can't stop saying anything about him.
Everybody gives me a nice guy. He's a cool. Look, I ain't got time for nice people. Okay, I ain't got time for that kind of shit. Darren's
Realz is like, I'm not nice, so what does it matter? All right,
but I mean, his nickname is Killer Cahill. Why is that? But this awesome guy, he's Killer Cahill.
He's the opposite.
Smells like I'm gonna see you on Forensic Files one day, boo. I ain't got time for that shit. Moving.
All right, let's move on.
We need you to shut up, talk to someone, and get a better point shit together. And the only real value is that they should be. The only thing that was of value about the U.S. Open debacle was the application of the rules seemed to be on and off.
Yeah,
that's the real thing you should be talking about. It ain't on-court coaching. Because if you want to tell Serena use a fucking forehand, you could shout it out, tell your friend to shout it for her. Just saying. Do like Rafa, have hand signal, some shit like that.
I like the hand signal. Stop it.
I mean, moving on. So Wimbledon decided, because of John Isner, we gonna have no more. I'm not clear because I really don't care, because to me this shit only applied to John Isner. It didn't apply. No one is complaining about any other match but John Isner matches. Just saying. So to me, the real solution would have been like, John Isner, you can't show up at Wimbledon anymore.
Okay, well, tell us the solution.
Anyway, Wimbledon decided that as of now, after 12 games all in the final set, or is it like the men's, or it's just everybody?
Fifth set. It only says fifth set. They didn't say anything about third set.
The women. Interesting. Right? Interesting. I thought that I was misunderstanding the rules.
That did not even register with me.
I mean, that's why I think when I send the agenda, I mentioned that you're just like, if this applies to the women as well, because as I am reading or understanding it, it only seems to be applying to the men.
I mean, when's the last time a women's match went long? So I think they seriously were just thinking about the fifth set timer.
Anyway,
wow.
So Pablo said they said final set. I guess everyone's just like people are just talking about it.
Did it say final set?
Okay. Final.
It said
everyone just keeps thinking of John Isner. Exactly. So when it gets to 12 games all, we will play a tiebreaker. So we will not longer go on to any more bullshit and whatever. As
Listen, I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it too.
I'm fine with that
if
too.
you get to 12 all, nobody cares. I mean, let's be
And at that point, after 12 games, I didn't
Well,
much
nobody-
after that.
And certainly not for the winner in the next match.
Exactly. That's the way I feel about it.
They should leave it for the finals, though. Leave it all on the line.
No, I don't care about that. Listen, they still got to turn around the next day and go to some tournament somewhere. So it's like,
Well, I mean, it's Wimbledon. I mean, like, if you get to the final of Wimbledon, where you going after that? Where? But home and resting your ass, especially if you want. You're showing up to Bastad.
I'm fine with it.
On Newport.
Are people upset about it? I mean, the only reason to be upset is like tradition, right? I feel like that's the only reason you'd care. It's like a good compromise. It's not 6 all. I mean, it's not 6 all. It's not 9 all.
12 all is a lot, man.
Exactly.
So
like if you
24, that's basically 4 sets. That's it. 4 sets if you're bigling the person, right? You played 24 games. You basically played 4 sets of tennis. Or let's say 2 sets of tennis in one.
I'm happy. It feels nice that it's unique. It's still unique, right? It's still unique.
I like knowing that there's an end.
Thank God. Whew. Exactly. It's like bad sex. It is finishing up at some point. So it's the same thing with a tennis.
Is that how you think about it?
Yeah, I'm thinking about a tennis match. Exactly the same.
No, I'm not talking about bad sex. Like at some point it's gonna end. In my mind, just like it will never end. All right, moving on. We're not here for that. This is Friday night, and we're not.
Rails. I know you have no love. I'm sorry.
Maria shut her season down for the year. We've got some people asking where is she? She's done for the year.
Maria Sharapova?
Sharapova is.
Oh, yeah, she's
is people still checking for Maria Sharapova?
Yes,
that's what I'm confused
people
about.
still checking to see.
They are.
I know. Let me see. What did I see? I saw something on my timeline that she was at
She was down a while ago.
She was in some like fashion event abroad. Listen, that's what Pova's doing now. She's showing up and wearing cute outfits. That's what she's doing.
With a really bad skin, because meldonium will fuck you up.
Yeah. I mean, I was in a bookstore. I mean, of all places, a rare thing that still exists is a bookstore in New York City. I went in and I saw her book on one of the shelves, Unstoppable.
Did you scribble in it? Did you scribble on it in the middle of it? Oh, okay.
I ain't trying to get police on my ass. I'm black. I'm just trying to keep my hands to myself and all the time.
Oh, I think
I just like, but you got stopped. Okay?
At Betty Ford.
No.
I love Pablo the best. Hey, Chris.
So anyway,
Davis Cup, motherfuckers.
So Davis Cup, I mean, I think Guidicelli, I think it is. He got indicted for some money shit, whatever. He was the president of the French Tennis Federation, and just so far as, if I'm not mistaken, he was indicted, and just after he had already fucked up the Davis Cup, to everybody. Chris, don't fuck with me with the body party, okay? Don't fuck with me,
no,
Chris,
I mean,
okay?
Don't you think? I mean, if somebody gets indicted, don't you go back and look at every decision they made then?
No, we don't do that because he's a white man.
I mean, no, but honestly, shouldn't they reverse this? Or
they should, but they don't. They just pretend that, all of a sudden he just stumbled. He's redeemable. The thing is just like, what?
No, but it's
happening. He's still got another good job. He is going to get another good job. Just wait and see.
I mean, but I'm not talking about those things, Realz. I'm just saying, realistically, doesn't it seem like it would be suspect to trust any vote from a person who is recently?
They were saying this from the jump, but no one seemed to care. I mean, that the ITF pretty much bent their rules around for him because the rule was that once you have been indicted or you're in suspicion, you couldn't be involved, and they changed the rules for him basically, or ignored it altogether. And anyway, surprise, New Davis Cup, nobody's showing up.
Maybe the Australian Open people, maybe the Aussie tennis should open a case against them in some ways and question that vote. Is that it? Is this final? We can't go back and revisit Davis Cup.
But you think people really want to upset?
It's open.
They're not gonna want to upset the apple cart that way at all. They're likely to just ride the boat and just be the message. Because I mean, now the reason why I brought this up is that the new Davis Cup is gonna start next year. The top players aren't gonna sign up, and I mean, I'm surprised because the top players weren't even signing up for Old Davis Cup to begin with. So Why would they sign up for New Davis Cup when you haven't even consulted them as to ask them what is it that they really want and what would work for them? So
no, but I think
New
it's
Davis,
fun. I mean, Pico says that he cares only about what he really thinks you should really only focus on groups and not individual player. I have to say, I completely agree with that. I mean, I hope.
Oh, Pablo. Sorry, Pablo corrected. He was already indicted, but he was found guilty of criminal offense under the French law. So that's what it was. He was already indicted, and that's what people are making a fuss about. That he's currently under investigation for crime and insider charges against him. He shouldn't be on the board altogether. But he got found guilty. Charges? I think money laundering and financial embezzlement, something along those lines, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice. Okay, great.
So so
it all seems like it's still, regardless of that though, it also seems like it's also seemed like it's a really weird setup. I feel like these people are still fighting each other. So you've got Davis Cup, and they haven't figured out what's going to happen with the World Tennis Cup. So it's like, stop fighting each other and figure out how to stuff this calendar in the right way.
But they ain't got time for that.
I wish I could say I cared.
But they could have done a better.
You wish you could say you cared?
Yeah, I don't care.
I know, I really don't either. I mean, I just think it's silly. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not the kind of thing where I'm gonna like slip my wrist about it or anything, even really lose sleep. But it just seems like such a dumb thing. It's an insignificant event in the sense that, yes, it has a 118-year history, but I don't think the Davis Cup even like registers in terms of like ratings or things that this traditional audience seem to care about in TV land, like who's watching it. So it just seems weird to me that they're having a battle over something that is more emblematic and symbolic of like a certain time in tennis than current tennis. I don't know, it just seems odd to me.
Yeah,
but maybe
that shit.
Maybe Piqué, is that his name? Piqué? Maybe
I'm so annoyed with this whole like, why are people so upset that he is involved in tennis? I don't get this. Can someone please explain?
You know why? You know why? Because when you enter a space that is not your own, you don't go into the space and say, fuck you, Federer, fuck you, Djokovic. You go in and you say, who are the leaders of this current space and can I collaborate?
But what, is that what he did?
Yes, that's exactly what he said. He's like,
I mean, like, I just keep seeing all this, Piqué, fuck Piqué. And I'm like, why can't Piqué be involved in tennis?
Piqué could do whatever he wants. But the point is, you have sort of natural leaders in a space. Can you imagine someone going into basketball and be like, what? LeBron, what? Who, what? Fuck that dude. Like, I care about
Let's do this shit like football. Let's have them charge around and roll around, beating each other for a little bit.
Like weird. You have natural leaders in a space. You go in there, you respect the space, you ask the people what is going on here. He didn't talk to any of the players. This is a guy who's like, he's like, well, listen, this is really about team sports. It's a little odd, it's a little weird. I mean, I don't think there's nothing that bars him from doing it, but it feels like a weird strategy, no? To enter a space that's not yours. It just goes
from one sport, like you're all involved in football, and you're gonna come into tennis. At least act like you know something. You did some research. You just came in here and decided, I'm gonna make this thing holy however I want it to do, and you don't involve the people who are gonna participate.
I know, like he sit up here and he's like, well, Federer is a great player, but he's never really given as much to Davis Cup. I was like, dude, he's played the most of anyone at Davis Cup. Maybe because he's old, but he has played the most. So
exactly. It's just weird. It's like, just exactly. You didn't do any research at all. It's just like you just follow Twitter. You follow NoLeFam.
No, it's not even Novak. But even with Novak, he's like, well, Novak says I'm going to prioritize the World Tennis Cup. He's like, well, it's not really about the players. It's really, I'm like, I don't know, dude. You might want to try to get some players that people like to show up. I don't know.
Pablo says that Paraguay or Fiji is going to win the Davis Cup next year.
I love it. Listen, I hope that's exactly what happened, because that's promise, right? That's the promise of this new Davis Cup, is that it's going to get to all the other countries in the world besides the ones that everybody talks about every 10 minutes, the Brits, the Frenchies, Spain.
Girl.
Okay. Well, Lovely Drama Girl says we need to talk about Rafa Nole and the Saudis.
Oh, God.
Bring it.
So Tell us, Realz.
As always, tennis just doesn't like to be by itself and keep quiet. It just like to. But before I go any further, let me just point out. Bree made an interesting point. She said tennis likes to fight imaginary issues, and it's true. Issues that they don't. They don't seem to talk to anybody about. Just like what? Like how you come to this point? Like how is this a thing? But anyway, so yes. So if you've been following American media and probably BBC. You know that Saudi Arabia decided to do I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, I've never seen this on Forensic Files, but hey, they basically this man went into journalist Jamal Khashoogi went into the Saudi consulate or embassy in Turkey to get a documents and also he can marry his fiance, and he never came back out. Well, at least he never came back out whole or alive. And it's been now presumed that he has been killed and dismembered in the consulate and by a Saudi Arabia hit squad. And as a result of this, the international world, particularly the international press, is taking huge exception and they are making a big stink about the situation. They have always had a sort of a love-hate relationship with the now Saudi prince leader because of his very seemingly liberal and somewhat flamboyant style, but a lot of people were kind of suspicious of his attitude because one, he wasn't Western, he wasn't educated in the West, quote unquote, the West, and he had imprisoned in a luxury hotel all of his family members who were educated in the West. So as a result of this, the world has now pronounced condemnation on Saudi Arabia and looked for international sanction against Saudi Arabia, and as part of that, tennis, not to be left out, decided that Nole and they're asking that Nole and Divadal not participate in the, is it Abu Dhabi? I think it is.
No.
Oh, there is a Saudi exhibition type event that has some money involved. Yeah. Yes, that is. I think happens at the beginning of the year. I think.
No, it's
sometime.
It's December.
December. Oh.
December 22nd. December 22nd. Rafa Nadal and Novak Djokovic are doing an exhibition.
Oh, okay. See how I don't follow these people. But anyway, they decided they're asking the world that they should pull out of this event because it's no points, as if that really mattered when someone died, right?
Yeah,
no point. It's just for money. Exactly. It's not an ATP sanctioned event, so you shouldn't take that anyway. Because apparently, if it were, like it's like, oh, all right, you could kind of play, tennis, and God, sometimes it's just really messy. But yeah. So I would like to know how we feel about it and how the fans feel about it. I'm really interested to hear from the Divadal fans as well as the Nole fans. I mean, y'all could Nole fam. I know y'all don't really actively come on and say shit, but I would like to see y'all subtweeting us. That would be as always. But I don't really read your subtweets, so you should probably keep me direct.
But you know what? Before the murder of the journalist, where were people? Because I felt like before the actual suggestion that this journalist was murdered, there were people who were saying it was not a good idea early on. I saw both and Rafa fans not really being that comfortable about the exhibition.
I have no idea where they stood.
And so far, I should point out that so far as I am aware, neither one has made a statement.
No, they've been avoiding it. I think they've been avoiding it too. I think newspapers have reached out to ask them for a comment, but I think they have not said anything. I mean, my suspicion is that they're just like, maybe this will just all die over because
I don't think so, boo. Yeah, I need to make.
I know, but like, what's qualitatively different today about Saudi Arabia that wasn't the same up 2-3 weeks ago when they made it?
Well, I mean,
whenever they made the decision.
Putting this out of tennis, I believe that the world. I mean, the world has a very interesting relationship with Saudi Arabia, right? Where they could pretend that they can kind of like not see certain things that's happening in Saudi Arabia.
Sure.
And I felt like what?
Like most nations.
Like most nations. But I mean, like with with Europe and United States, I think they could sort of have a more sort of like, oh, you can do this in the front, but you can't do this in the back kind of relationship with Saudi Arabia. And they felt that with this new crown prince, I don't want to get his name wrong. It's Mohammed Al.
Mohammed
know
bin
it's
You can
Salman.
just call
Bill-
him.
Mohammed Bin Salman. Yes, that sounds about
You
right.
can just call him MBL or something.
I don't like that. I think that's really disrespectful.
Yes.
But I
Well,
mean,
whatever.
But
You can't say it. That's
but I mean,
disrespectful too.
no. I'm
Listen,
no. I'm saying no.
name
I'm
is
just
just
saying this because I
Mohammed.
mean, media operations do this all the time.
just say his name is Mohammed. So let's just
Mohammed bin Salman. Pablo corrected. Yes, media's call him MBS, and I thought that's really crazy. But anyway, they've had a relationship, but I think, and a lot of people, Mohammed bin Salman has been making the rounds, trying to do sort of like celebrity press tour, basically junket, trying to make himself, he's a liberal deliverer of Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, he's been doing some really shady, crazy shit in the back. And I think this is the same thing that they had a situation with Turkey, with Erdogan, I think it is. He was doing the same thing where he pretended that he was supposed to be liberal, but he was doing some crazy shit in the back. And because of social media, and we got cameras and so many people out there having a voice to the voiceless, seeming private voices, they're putting this shit all out there, and that's what Khashoogi was doing. Well, actually, he wasn't really doing that so much so as he was.
Let's not get distracted by that. What's the sports question? Like,
well, I think
should
no.
they go in this context? Should they pull out and say we're not going to come there? We're not going to bring your economy money. We're not going to take your money for being there. People are saying that they need to say no. We are going to take a moral stance and not do this. Well, I think that's what's being called upon, by the media.
Do you agree, Janina? I don't know how strong. I don't know.
Well, let's be clear. Let's be clear here. It is the journalists who are saying this. Journalists are saying this.
Well, they're supposed to. Who else is going to say it?
No. Journalists are speaking for themselves. Journalists is doing this thing that they rarely ever do, right? Where they just basically, we're reporting both sides. This time, they're making a clear distinction because they're saying this is one of their own. Whenever we're talking about,
what does that matter?
Because quite often, whenever there's racist shit happening, they bring both sides of the story. In this situation,
but what does this mean though for this?
I mean, because
like a murder.
No, because generally, we the public always have our feelings about the matter, but when it comes to these sort of things, we let and we defer to their decisions on this matter. But this time around, journalists are making us being involved in the situation and giving real voice, because they're the one pushing this agenda. Because quite honestly, most nations have not really come out publicly and strongly.
Have stopped doing things, right? A couple of people have pulled out of going to conferences. They're not journalists.
Right, they pull out of the conferences, but they haven't taken any decisive step.
Listen, nobody wants to go to war right now, but
no, I'm not even talking about war. I mean, like basically, like
a harshly written letter.
No, well, 45 said it best. He said, "I'm not gonna fuck up this military contract deal. I'm not." None of because in America, what should be happening right now is the Magnitsky Act should be enforced. They should be basically putting economic sanctions on people involved in this situation, anyone involved in this, and this should happen in Britain as well, and Europe. But that has not yet happened. All we have is a lot of basically big show of this matter. A hot air talking. But nothing really has happened. Because for the fact that journalists have to go to Novak and Divadal for a point on this matter, you know what I mean? That's really insane. We don't even need Nadal and Djokovic to be involved in this situation for this situation to be warrant serious questions to be asked and serious action to be happening. So to me, that was what I thought was kind of odd. But honestly, the optics, I don't think they should go.
Listen, I understand that someone was killed. I understand that it was most likely political. We don't have time to explain the backstory, but in a nutshell, this journalist had ties to the royal family in Saudi Arabia, and he was talking more and more about the need for free press there, amongst other things, that wouldn't be most likely looked fondly upon by the rulers in Saudi Arabia. I get all that. However, I think that the reason that this is getting heightened attention is because someone died. But the truth is, tennis players especially travel to countries all the time where people are treated like shit, where the politics are shit, where the people are treated horribly, where women are killed for, saying I was raped. Why is this so much different? Because it's an isolated incident? I mean, that's what I can't. People say, oh, politics and sports shouldn't mix. Well, they do mix all the time. And I mean, they mix right here in our country. Look what's happening to Colin Kaepernick right now. He's been completely ostracized. Are people not going to football games? No, of course they are. Are the players refusing to play in the, against the team that said you're out? Of course not. It's not okay. And I'm not saying that it's okay. I don't know if they should be there or not. However, this is their job. This is how they make money. And if you're going to hold these athletes to this standard, then hold everyone to this standard in every country that they go to. Refuse to go to Dubai. Don't go there anymore.
That's bullshit.
It is. That's what I'm saying. It's bullshit. So why now, this time, because this happened in this moment?
No.
Are they saying you can't go?
Again.
Listen, no, wait a minute. Hold up. Let us not forget that 15 of the 19 people who flew planes into places in 9/11 were Saudi Arabians.
Oh, but that doesn't matter. Come on. What does that have to do with anything?
Well, right. No, it doesn't have to do it. Why would it? We don't say, hey, let's not deal with them because they did this. But now the royal family kills a person as opposed to attacking a nation. I mean, where do you draw the line? That's what I'm asking. Where do you draw the line?
The line you draw is your own personal moral code. It doesn't matter what a country would do. It doesn't matter what your fellow man is doing. It's what you want to do. That's what this is about for Novak and Rafa. It's about who they are as people. Your country can do all kinds of things. And you know what? It's not a tournament. And you know what? It seems sort of silly, but it's right. It's simply an exhibition. You're essentially, people have been telling entertainment folks not to go and play music for dictators for years. And that's really about the moral code of that individual. They're allowed to do it. Lots of people are allowed to do lots of things, but really it's about who you are as an individual, regardless of whether it's going to be okay for you to do it. I mean, that's the difference between Kaepernick. That's the difference between Rihanna choosing not to play at the Super Bowl in solidarity to Colin Kaepernick. Those are individual choices. She could have. There's no punishment for her for not doing it.
How is this not an individual choice? Is that what you're saying?
It is an individual choice. Listen, they're not obligated to do anything either way. But this is their own moral compass. And I mean, this is harsh to say, but I'm not so worried about Rafa. But this goes against all of Novak Djokovic's posturing about who he is. I'm surprised that he actually hasn't said anything yet because he's quite political in a certain way. So it's interesting. I mean, I'm curious to see, when he next shows up somewhere and how he answers this question, because it doesn't really.
Do you think someone will actually ask in public?
They have to. They have to.
After this story about him and Rafa, when they show up in Paris, and it's before Paris. I mean, you know what I mean? It's.
I think that's why probably. That didn't show up in Vienna or Basel because he's like, this would have been an issue for.
Listen, you know what I mean, Janina. You're totally right. We have interactions with countries who are doing horrendous things every day, and we just sort of push on through and do what we need to do. But in some ways, this is an exhibition. They're not required to do it, so choosing to do it is more on them than sort of like I'm going about my job. You know what I mean? Like I have to show up. This is my job. The tour requires it. I get points. And if I don't, but for them, it really is about them sort of giving a kind of okay signal. And I think it's a politically dangerous thing for them right now. I mean, what if they do it? What happens with their sponsors?
Yeah, this is because sponsors have been
what they have to think about.
Because here's the thing. I think look, Saudi Arabia is doing some shitty shit all the time, and particularly right now in Yemen. Yeah. And people have been talking about this all the time. But like I said, news outlets have been talking about this like two sides of their faces, basically. They've been kind of like, oh, and then skip over it, right? Because everybody loves this tragedy and whatever the case may be. Why I think this is becoming particularly thinking is one, the horrendous nature of what is already what people imagine happened.
Yeah.
And that's horrible. And they almost got away with it. I mean, the only reason why everyone was even signaled to know anything is because his fiance was outside waiting for him, and he never exited the building, or at least that she saw.
Well, but you know what's also so dodgy about it, which is I think also part of the problem, is that
no one could produce the man.
No, I didn't realize. No, not even specifically about that. But I didn't even realize that they released notice of the exhibition the day after the reporter disappeared. Like the very next day. So it's almost like a kind of like like a sort of washing clean, right? Let's wash ourselves clean, because the one thing about sport is it does wash away all sorts of feelings, right? That's what it does. It encourages you to look aside as
there is a binary. There's a simple black and white issue. You're either rooting for someone or you're rooting against someone.
Yeah, and you could forget about the horrible things that's happening, because that's what they presume, right? They're like, you get on that court or you get on that field of play, and it's not about countries or whatever. It's us, man against man, woman against woman, and all of that jingoistic stuff for sport, right? But like, it's weird how the way that this was sort of pushed out as if to sort of distract the public. And I think, listen, I mean, maybe they're wise to say nothing and it will die down. Maybe the world will go to hell in a handbasket and this will be the least horrific thing that's happened in the next month and a half, and they could just quietly go there and play. But I don't think it's going to be out of people's memories by then. I really don't. Do you guys think so?
Repeat that question again, sorry.
Do you think it's going to be out of people's minds by then, so that they could go and show up and just play?
No, I don't think so, because like I said, I think the issue, because as I was pointing to when I mentioned the journalist, it's because this happened to a journalist.
Yeah, sure.
And the media outlet and the journalists are going to maintain this story until it is concluded. They cannot let this go.
And they really shouldn't, because you know what? I mean, I guess, listen, it's unfair.
Because this isn't a regular political story that they could probably forget to the next one coming, right? This is about them.
It's about them.
This happened to one of them. Exactly. Yeah. So there's a personal stake in this story. Sure. So that's what I'm saying, that, countries won't necessarily pushing this situation until media outlets push this story. They're the ones who are taking this thing. This isn't being driven by some political group or some political faction that is worrying about Jamal Khashoogi. Journalists have rallied together to continue pushing this story out there. They control the mic, and the one voice, one mic. One mic, one voice.
I mean, but it's also a larger push against Trump, which is who's made them unsafe.
Right.
So if you let
at least for American journalists, Europe, they don't really.
Yeah, and if you let this person get away with it, it's weird though, because I guess the assumption is how the person dies, because journalists are dying often.
Exactly. This wasn't like a car bomb or like the person go missing. This was a calculated, like premeditated act. I mean, like you don't get. I mean, this is almost like it was a movie, but then it's really real. So I think that is the horrific, because I mean, like people can enter, because I mean, just imagine a journalist go into. I mean, like they're not even safe. They can't be protected, right? Because basically they walked off the street into a building for a appointment, because that's what happened. He went into for an appointment.
Logistically, though.
But you have to. But I think what you're saying is fair, but he wasn't there to work, and I think that
the part of it. That's what makes it horrific, because journalists do die on the job.
Right.
They don't seem to take it as seriously. Right. But such an aggressive. But honestly, though, think about it. Who's covering this exhibition as a journalist? Who's gonna
go there? Exactly. but here's the thing. But it doesn't matter. But for Saudi Arabia, it doesn't really matter, because when you go to these events, it is merely for entertainment of the royalty and their cohorts. No, regular fans don't get to go there.
But it has nothing to do with that. It's important that journalists cover it, because the whole point of this is to show that Saudi Arabia is a civilized country. That's the sell. You don't do this unless journalists are there taking pictures of you.
I see what you're saying.
Being civilized. But the question,
look at us.
Look at us. Look at us. We are playing the oldest sport alive, or one of the oldest sports around, and it's a classic sport. You know what I mean? But let's be honest, logistically, or like who as a journalist is going to show up in Saudi Arabia and say, "Sure, I'll cover this."
Yeah.
Like practically, it doesn't seem like a good idea for even that reason. Like,
I don't think it should go, because I think this is going to be. This has the also history of being quote unquote humanitarian and sort of taking political stands in issues like tennis somewhat. I mean, like
tennis itself,
in a way, yeah. Players have historically, like Arthur Ashe, Venus to a certain extent. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed in Black.
I don't know if I believe that.
Well, Venus. What?
I mean, Venus, when she was just like,
I think I'm not gonna. You get a handful. I don't think you get to say it's. I'm not gonna play
about the sport.
I
no,
think there was the issue with
the sport. No, I don't think the sport gets any of that, Realz. I think it's individuals, not. I think
it's individuals.
Right. I mean, but I mean, so what's what I mean? That's what I mean. Sorry, I should correct myself. Not necessarily, but individual tennis players. And I think somehow, if I were Novak and Novak or Divadal, I wouldn't risk my brand for this mess. It's not that serious.
It's not worth it. How much is that money? How much is that?
It's not that serious.
Let me see the check. Though. This is really horrible. Is there an amount that would make this appropriate for you all?
I want to say $1 billion, but hey, if somebody's paying, if someone is willing to pay me $1 billion to do anything, someone is willing to pay me a little less to do something else, and I'm going to take a little less to do something else. I'm just saying.
What's
really no?
What's the temperature of our listeners? What do you all think? Yeah,
I think Pablo is like saying that they would go.
They should go.
Pablo think the story is gonna. I don't think so, because in 2 weeks they're gonna release that tape. They're gonna put that audio there. I mean.
Oh my God! You cannot be in a picture after the audio has been released. You cannot be in a picture, smiling.
What do you mean?
What do
you mean?
You cannot have these
audio that they can't be in Saudi Arabia smiling and having fun.
And a picture. It's just bad optics all around. But you know what? Screw optics. It's just about your values and your morals.
And they can't even go there and shame them, because I mean, like, after they did that to Jamal Khashoogi, it's like, you gotta be so nice, smile all the time. Like, you can't even be like, fuck the crown prince, because
I'm gonna tell you what I think. I think if they don't go, they don't say. I don't think they say anything about it.
Come up with an
directly. I think that it may be indirect and say, I don't feel safe or whatever, but I don't think there will be a direct stance.
Oh no,
that can say that this happened. But honestly, I feel like they'll go. I do.
Oh man, you think they will?
Wow. Oh God, yeah. No. I hope to God they don't.
Well, listen. You know what though? If they do go, I'd like to see how their brand survives it. I think it'll be interesting. But the world is a dark place. Maybe their brand is fine with it.
Oh my God, nope. I mean, like,
I hate to. I'm even using terms like brand, but I mean, like, I don't know, like, maybe the world is such a space where we just say, "Hey, collect that check and keep on."
But you know what? Pablo said earlier that if that Novak, and I could totally see this happening, Novak would be the person who says, I'm going to participate in this to open up people's eyes, to make them draw attention, to see, what's happening.
Open their eyes to
try to bring something good of it. I don't know, but I can see Novak trying to spin it that way. I see Rafa saying nothing. And this is the moment where Rafa says he doesn't speak English.
Honestly,
here's the problem.
Can I tell you
the problem with that excuse, Janina?
Either way, I don't want to be in it. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to be the one.
Here's the problem with that. Didn't enough to craft something that skillful and that half-assed anyway. Look, you need to skedaddle, because here's what journalists are about to do. Journalists are about to bring all the receipts about Saudi Arabia, because they don't give two fucks right about now.
No, they're not. No, they're not. I bet they don't.
Watch and see.
They do.
It's too dangerous.
Because at this point,
it's in their best interest. It's in their best interest
to do this. Because here's why. Here's what's going to happen. Here's the thing. Here's what Jamal Khashoogi basically is signaling to. If they let this happen, anyone can do anything at any time.
Anytime.
Anyway. Because I mean, like, which journalist ain't going for a scoop in a hotel room? Which journalist ain't going for a scoop for someplace in a consulate for the scoop? And I mean, like, this is already on the backs of 2 other journalists being killed I think in Czech Republic and also in Malta for doing investigation.
Yeah, yes, because or also, where does Dimitrov? Where's Grigor from? Yes, wasn't there?
Bulgaria. That's right. It was Bulgaria. Yes. A journalist was raped and killed. Near Sofia. Yeah. Because here's the thing, and here's the crazy thing: Jamal Khashoogi wasn't even an extremist. He wasn't even a radical.
Not at all.
He wasn't even a radical. He was just basically advocating for free press, right? For the people of Saudi Arabia to be engaged in a press that is free and they can participate in things. And what was happening is that the Washington Post was publishing his articles, his op-ed, which he wrote in English, in Arabic as well. I'm not saying he probably wrote it in Arabic.
I agree, lovely drama girl. I think everyone feels stuck. I think they're caught between a rock and a hard place. There's no statement that they can make that gets them out of this cleanly. Like,
there's no safe statement.
There's no safe statement.
There's nothing safe.
Yeah, all they can do is publicly
say I'm tired.
No. All you could do is publicly injure yourself somewhere and give yourself an out.
Exactly.
That's it.
Well, Divadal can't. Oh, what? Divadal, here's my advice to you. I know you listen to our podcast. I am taking care of the situation in Mallorca right now. Is it Mallorca? With the flooding. My attention is needed in my home country. I need to take care of my people. I need to open my academy and let more people in and take more pictures of me in Wellington's pushing water out of
somebody get pregnant. Somebody get pregnant and then give
Well, it ain't gonna be Cersei. It won't be Cersei. So
you know what's really fucked up?
That ain't part of Cersei contract.
Wait, what's fucked up?
You know what is so incredibly fucked up about this for me personally?
What?
This is a horrific event.
It's horrible.
I don't feel like it's that bad because we are so fucking desensitized by crazy shit these days. That is honestly where I stand. I'm like, here's one more super fucked up thing. That's really how I feel about it.
You know what? I have to say, I almost want to agree with you, Gina, but when I read what happened to him, like, I couldn't deal. Like, it just literally.
Yeah, me too.
I haven't been watching the news. I haven't been reading about it. And maybe that's why I'm just getting little bits and pieces here. But I honestly, right now in this moment, I feel like this is going to completely be blown over in a week or two at most, because that fucktard that runs this country at the moment is blowing it off, and he'll do something that's going to detract from it.
I don't know, because the journalists that he wants pushing this
story. I think Realz is right on the fact that it's.
I hope.
I think it's because it's a journalist. Because honestly, but you know what? Because he's right. If they don't figure out how to use their own bully pulpit at this moment, then none of them are safe. Absolutely
in any capacity, at anywhere. Because I mean, like, you literally just had to. 45 is up. They're bragging about someone body slamming a journalist. I mean,
right.
That's the thing.
In the White House puts out this little wimpy statement. Nobody shouldn't flinch at that.
It's too much.
Come on,
but here's the thing: a simple body. He had the company of, like, people were there. This was all. He had a whole bunch of witnesses for this situation. Jamal Khashoogi literally went into his own country's embassy.
I know.
He wasn't in a Turkish embassy.
I know.
He was in Saudi Arabian. He went into the Saudi Arabian consulate embassy.
Horrible.
And I mean, they had a hit squad come in by jet, did what they needed to do. I don't want to recount the details there, but let me just say, I watch a lot of murder. I watch a lot of true forensic files on that situation. Trust me, this is not an easy task.
Okay? I agree. Love the drama girl. It's gruesome. It's horrible. It's so sad.
It's crazy.
And I don't know. You know what? I don't envy Rafa and Nole. I think they're in a bad situation. I mean, I think Novak has some.
I mean, but it's not, though. It's just for money. It's money.
No, but it is a bad situation because listen, I mean, you basically now are rejecting the invitation of this of the kingdom. Like, that's not a nice thing either.
Well, here's the thing. If they can't get it, if they can't get why this is problematic for them to show up, then they're even far more crazier and ruthless.
It's not so fresh and easy though. I mean, it's a messy situation.
It is messy, dirty, ugly.
Pablo, I hope you're out here trying to give me this kind of like, we don't know what kind of happened to him.
Oh no!
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing, Pablo. The man hasn't showed up.
Well, Dexter. Oh my God, we so need Dexter
showed up.
Okay. We need to move on from getting into the gruesome details.
Because this is not that kind of podcast. If you want to have this discussion, it probably will be discussed on Trisha's, aka Andreen podcast on Outrageous.
Yeah,
you don't have such topic.
We're not even gonna listen. We're not even gonna do this because I travel. I don't want to get killed. But anyway, listen. You know what? I don't know. I mean, Janina says that you think they will do it. Realz, what do you think? They're gonna do it?
I better not show up.
I mean, do you think they're gonna do it? You think they should?
Honest to God, I don't know. I think they because to me, accepting an invitation was I don't know. I don't think they should, but you know what? They might love that money so much, and they might feel like they're going to do some brand ambassador bullshit or think so high up themselves that they can probably swing this situation around. That someone in their corner might be telling them for the money situation, give them bad counsel, but they should stay their ass home.
I think they should.
I think it's 50-50. If they would show up on that.
I think he and Rafa get together in Paris. Somebody needs to take a hit and fake an injury, most likely.
But Rafa ain't playing Paris?
I don't know. It's not clear yet. So listen, it's still a chase for number one.
Rafa, I mean, like Rafa, you has faked injury your entire career, girl. So simple fix right there.
Wait, Janina, you said who said no?
I don't know.
Pablo said they definitely will be there. Pablo is of the opinion they will be there.
What do you think, Lovely Drama Girl? You think they're going to be there? I'm hoping. I think they come up with a bull. I mean, the great thing about being a sportsman is you could just get injured and pull out of all kinds of things. So, or they play and use the money to donate for the floods.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, like, but historically,
why don't they play and donate the money to this man's fiance?
No. She ain't gonna want that. She don't want that.
Want it. She's smart enough to know that's dirty money.
And here's the thing: that little black boy don't tell y'all he ain't forgiving his oppressors, and ain't people giving out forgiveness for free anymore.
I love that.
It is done and over with.
Well, let's move on.
Moving on. So. We have some lovely okay, apparently for the sake of Chad, Michael Moore is in the top 100.
Lovely. Great news.
So he won, I think, 2 challenges. He won a challenger. I don't know. Chad will probably correct me later on. Bree, he's not your man. Let me just put it up public on the airways. Michael Moore does not belong to you, girl. Just you're crazy. We mentioned Monfils is back. So I mean, like, the American men's been pretty solidly. For the Next Gen Finals, I think Francis Tiafoe and Taylor Fritz have qualified.
Yeah,
I'm not here for Taylor Fritz. I will be bringing his baby along. Apparently, does he even have a child? I've never seen that child. Everybody brings their baby to work. Everybody.
He doesn't have to.
Okay.
Oh, that's exciting. Any other Americans qualified?
Have they?
Just TFO.
I don't know if it's all.
I think Alex, the Aussie kid, qualified as well. Next Gen Final. Oh, I almost wish I was going back, but I don't think it's okay. Oh boy. Oh my God. Okay, so well, you know what, Stefano?
Apparently Taylor Fritz introduced his family in 2017.
Yeah, we're over that. So it's Stefanos, Dennis Shapovalov, Alex Demino, Francis Tiafoe, Taylor Fritz, and I'm assuming Andrei Rublev is going because Alexander.
Fastest going as well.
Yeah, he won't because Sasha qualified, so he's not going to go. He's going to go to London instead. Oh my God,
Sasha's still that young. My God, I feel like
I know, but the Guys, the point spread is so funny. Sasha is 4,700 points, and the next closest is Tsitsipas with 1,900 points.
Oh God.
Well, like 1962 more precise.
Hopefully, well, Sasha won't be there. Like, hopefully they get to the final. But that might be sort of interesting because some of these people kind of have personalities. I mean, I'm not here for
you know what?
Canadian.
Guys, you know what? Guess what? Michael Moe is 10. So if anybody falls out, he could trip himself all the way there, actually.
Hopefully.
He's like top 9 now if you take out Alex. So
pretty good. He could probably get it. Good.
So Chad, I want you to get. Chad says that Michael was raised in Saudi Arabia, so why don't you reach out to him and see what his thoughts are?
Was he raised there?
He'll give you anything.
He was born there, I think.
So disappointing.
Chad said, I believe that he.
I think his family moved about or something of that nature, or sometimes I think
you know damn well Chad knows. Don't question him.
All right. So that's good news. So then what else is going on in the world? I feel like I saw some pictures. Yeah,
let's talk. Let's talk about these ladies.
I don't know what Ellen is trying to do with Osaka, but Ellen, stop that girl. Don't be trying to push Michael B. Jordan on Osaka.
Okay, full confession.
Girl, that's kind of weird.
Full confession. I'm no Michael B. Jordan fan. Sorry. All right, we can go on.
Okay.
I don't want to disagree with you right there. Honestly, I don't.
I don't care about him one way or the other.
I'm in a confession.
I do like me some Mbaku. But,
I know. I'm in a confessional mood, and I actually don't like Osaka right now either. So anyway, I
get it, but I think the issue is it's not that you dislike Osaka. You just like the spirit around Osaka, the spirit around people
cleansed. So
and the fans, the chat. Yeah, that's what it is.
And I really legitimately feel guilty about it, but I can't really see Osaka without feeling a little triggered. So I think I'll be okay in the new year. I think. But for right now, I really don't want to see her.
And we have nothing is more delicious than to get the haters rolling than when the ATP handed out awards. I think the WTA handed out some awards.
No.
What you were talking about? No to what? I'm sorry.
The ATP hasn't handed out any awards yet, hon.
I mean, they give out the nominees, which is always delicious because the nominee process is always the issue with the.
I can't deal with it.
With the ATP, it's the nominee that's always suspect. But the WTA, it's always who won. That's always the problem. So, are we just gonna go straight into the ladies for time?
Please.
I'm fading. I'm gonna just put that out there.
Fading, so get it to her.
I don't know why, because she's being paid for this. Look, I'm offering you Nadal, Djokovic money for this podcast. You know what you're showing yourself.
I'll take the dirty money. I'll take the fucking dirty money. Donate it to me.
Dirty money it is.
Oh my god.
But it's brutal. So yes,
so the WTA finals is on and popping as of Sunday, as I said, which is Monday in Singapore. And the 8 ladies who have qualified. I don't know why the WTA think it's cool to have something called white group and red group.
It is what it is, real.
Yeah. I mean, red and blue. You can't have white group and have 4 white women in there, and then red group got the.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
No. Oh, cut it out.
I'm just saying we should be a little bit more sensitive. It's 2018.
We
can have blue group.
That, hasn't it?
Clearly, it's arbitrary. It's red and white. Okay. It's clearly arbitrary.
I don't care about the groups. I want to talk about their clothes.
Anyway, but since we're a tennis podcast, we gotta just put this out there. Anyway, for the red group, we have Angelique Kerber, which is the number 1 seed because Simona didn't show up. Osaka is the number 3 seed. Sloane Stephens the number 5th seed and number 5 seed, and Kiki Bertens is the number 8 in the red group. They're in the red group. So it's Kerber, Osaka, Stephens, and Bertens in the red group. In the white group, we have Wozniacki, Kitova, Svitolina, and Pliskova, and they're all blonde. I mean, come on, people. This ain't even look right. Caroline Wozniacki being the 2nd seed, Petra being the 4th, Svitolina being the 6th, and Pliskova, the one with the money, Kapliska, as Andre likes to call her, is number 7. So we ain't really care about, because we know it's going to be a mess, and I'm sure the alternate is going to win the WTA finals. I'm putting that out there. Is either Petra or an alternate. Sabalenka, go get ready. Somebody's going to follow. But what we really should be talking about when it comes to WTA finals is the bloody hot mess of a fashion, whatever they have here. I mean, I keep saying this over and over and over again. Get some homosexual males involved. Perfect. I mean, y'all got men all up entering WTA, and the men that really count, when men really supposed to count, y'all don't have them involved. I'm just looking at these pictures here, and I want to beat somebody. I mean, I literally want to beat somebody because I don't even know what's happening here. From Couples got chunky heel, girl, you are too tall to be winch. Oh my, why is this happening?
Because she doesn't know how to walk.
Osaka's in a red sack.
That's why.
Osaka is in a red sack. She looked like she pulled up his skirt over, like she was in bed, and someone said, "Girl," someone knocked at the door, and she decided to just pull the sheet up over herself because she was naked in bed.
Doing her next porn audition.
No, I love Sloane's heels. Don't come for Sloane's heels, though. I love those heels. Those
her
are
heels
great.
Are fine.
You
know what? That dress would be okay if it were short sleeved.
Is that what the problem is? I just thought it was like
I thought it was if you look at it up close and you can get a good picture and you show the detail, it's really gorgeous. It's beautiful. It complements your skin color. It's great. But I don't know why it has to be long sleeves. That's just stupid. It ruins it. The only person here that looks good to me is Svitolina.
No.
I like hers.
Svitolina, if
she's wearing stripper shoes. But I like
you stop eating just to fit into this outfit, girl. I don't know what this is. Stop this.
I thought she looked like she put some weight on.
Okay. Let's just get this out of the way. Okay.
Sadly.
Kiki Burton's girl.
I didn't even know who she was.
I mean, that's helpful because what she's wearing, nobody should have to see this. First of all, she's wearing kitten heel and she has straps on. Girl, you can't even handle kitten heels.
I agree.
You can't even handle kitten heels. You need a women, for God's sake, get some fucking tan or lotion to cover those white feet. I don't get it. Cover the tan line. Why is this happening?
I don't understand Petra's dress. I don't understand it at all. First of all,
always the same thing. She's not wearing a proper bra. She's not wearing a proper bra.
It's ugly though. It's too short.
Her hair looks great.
It's too short.
Great.
Petra looks like
I don't like the hair.
For somebody's man. That's what Petra looks like. She is going for somebody's husband.
Petra is coming for somebody's man. That's what she's always doing. Caroline, I just want to say you know better. I don't know what the fuck you were thinking, but you know better.
She's wearing shoulder pads. She's wearing shoulder pads in 2018.
Yeah.
She's wearing shoulder pads.
You can't say that. Lady Gaga's wearing a man suit and making statements about
I don't give a fuck. She's Lady Gaga. She's loud.
Is Caroline Wozniacki selling out stadiums for singing? Is that what she's doing out here?
It's so bad. I hate those shoes. I hate her shoes so much.
Those shoes look like Payless. Those shoes look like
she needs her hair colored. Like her hair is like completely a different color on the top than it is the bottom. That just looks like, girl, you got roots. Get your hair did. We got to talk about Sloane's wig. I swear to God, it comes right off the rack. It's so bad. I can't deal with Sloane's hair. And you know what I'm starting to think? It's so bad. I'm starting to think it might actually be her hair and she doesn't know how to do it.
What?
At this point, I swear Sloane is putting on these wigs just to spite me. I think she's just fucking with me. Because at this point,
listen,
I mean, I'm
starting to think it's not a wig. Naomi,
just like, girl,
so dry. Girl, Naomi, your hair is very similar to mine. Come here, let me help you. Let me help you. You need moisturized.
Oh God, that hair is so thirsty.
So dry.
So thirsty.
So thirsty.
So fucking thirsty. I mean, you could probably
Pliskova. If we could have cut Pliskova's dress off before it started looking witchy at the bottom, she'd have been fine.
I need to look at pictures. I can't.
Look. Those chunky heels. I can't.
You gotta look at Pliskova from the thigh up. Cut the shoes off, cut the bottom of the dress off, and she looks great.
God.
Except,
oh my gosh,
she never wears.
Oh, Petra's dress is horrible. Oh, and I feel
Petra
bad.
always
Kerber's
Petra
dresses.
never
Who
gets
wears a
proper
high-low
bra
dress
gear.
anymore?
I feel bad for Kiki's dress. I feel bad.
God,
I
the
feel
dress, the shoes. I mean, Kiki,
This
you know
is a
what Kiki
schoolgirl's
looks like? Kiki
dress.
looks like she is one
A
of
little
those
Dutch
cultural
girl.
attachés at the side. You know, for some countries, she's wearing cultural.
You know what, Naomi? That looks like a nice towel. Is it a soft towel?
But you know what? Reels always keep it. I am a hater, but I hate judiciously. Naomi is smiling. It looks like she's not being kidnapped or she's under duress for the first time ever in a picture.
The picture I'm looking at, she looks like she's smirking. It ain't cute.
She's smizing.
Okay,
there is
why?
some kind
Tell
of
me.
life in the eyes.
Wait, did everybody decide who they like best? Who looked the best?
Angie,
I say
Angie,
Phil.
girl, you have not been saved from this, Angie. You look like you're going to the office.
No,
It's like a Friday night.
Spirulina's. I think Spirulina is the only thing that works for me.
Spirulina look like the sexy woman at the office. She looks like she coming to the office and I got a new pantsuit.
It's the only one.
She still looks better than all them.
Yeah.
And Janina, you're right. Those shoes. All these shoes look like Payless. Every one of these fucking shoes look like Payless.
Hey, they're horrible.
Women, y'all got money. Y'all would
Listen,
never
I think
catch
Petra's
a
toes
dollar.
are hanging over. I think Petra's toes are hanging over her shoes, and that's bad.
You know, Sloane is so beautiful. It's just too bad about the dress and the hair. Oh, it's too bad.
But I love all these straps.
I love the
Women
shoes.
want-
The shoes.
Listen, I'm going to tell you why they wear straps. They wear straps because of the fucked up tan lines on their feet, and they think that detracts from them, but it doesn't
Really?
work. Yeah, that's why they do it, for sure. For sure.
It's just Chad says Fidelina is the 80s streetwalk.
I love
Chad,
it.
you're right. And you know
All right,
what?
listen.
Knowing Chad, that came from someplace else because he's generally more reserved in this respect.
Oh my God.
Pablo said keep praying for Simona. You know what? Simona will come showing up looking at something like that. But I cannot. I mean, Carla. No, you know what, Carla, I gotta leave you alone in Kitten Hills. I gotta go. Kiki Burton is now.
You know what?
Kiki
Pablo
took
took
over.
Right.
She took
Wait,
over.
He took over.
Pablo's right. Pablo's right. That dress does exactly look like something.
Simona would stop looking in this mess. Simona would do this. I didn't think twice about this mess.
I feel like she looks like one of those. She looks like one of those women that should have the cart thing, like the
nobody
cigarettes.
even-
She should be selling
Kiki-
cigarettes. Remember those?
And let's not forget. I mean, like Kiki, I'm sure Kiki ain't wearing makeup. What we're watching is Photoshop. And Kiki here look like she just got out of bed. Like she's going.
It's
Kiki
great.
just came from the tennis practice court. She's
No,
in a ponytail.
You know,
She
the
got a ponytail.
thing that they always do
Oh my
with
God, it is.
with the women is that they put on too much makeup on their face. That's what they do. So they usually go, their eyes are too dark, their cheeks are too much rouge. Like, look at Petra. Petra has so much going on. It's like, I don't know, it's a little bit, you could do a little, I think maybe the best made up person is probably I have to actually say that it's Kerber. I think her makeup is the better.
Kerber
of all.
look like somebody.
Kerber's makeup usually is okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Kerber look like somebody's mother. She's going to the, she's trying to be she's the president of the PTA.
you
I don't
always
like
does,
anything
though.
else.
I like she always looks like she's so conservative. I love.
And you know what? As much as I want to drag Kiki Burton's, I mean, like Osaka is just like, why, girl? You're wearing a sack. You are literally wearing a sack.
She didn't comb her hair. Osaka didn't comb her hair.
I don't know.
I'm telling you.
Is that hair that you recognize?
Yes, it is.
You know what?
Yes.
You know what? People, let me tell you something.
Check
If
your
you're not gonna get a
DMs.
homosexual-
Check your DMs. I zoomed in and I screenshotted that shit. It's dry as fuck and it just ain't right.
I know. You ain't gotta tell me it's dry as fuck. I mean, you could see that from anywhere you see she on court.
But she's smiling. That's cute.
It's just,
I
I mean, they got curly custard, they got all kind of things for mixed hair now, girl. You ain't gotta go out here looking like this.
No,
Not even Serena weave be looking dry.
No, Sloane should get.
Come on now.
Come on, girl. Those Sloane. I don't like.
You know what? You know what? Listen, if y'all don't want to have a homosexual involved, I think y'all should get Heather Watson to take care of this situation. Heather, you never catch Heather. You catch Heather Watson
Chad,
on the
why
court,
is Chad retracting
but
messages?
you never
What is
catch
she
Heather
doing?
Watson looking a hot mess on when it comes to dressing up.
Okay, I mean, all right, fine. So I feel like we've savaged these poor. So
we gotta roll out.
I know. So who's playing who, guys? Who's surviving that group? The groups. Is there really a group of death? It doesn't really feel like it.
I don't know why people keep talking about that. This is like the second week of a.
This is like a
major.
250.
Oh my god!
This is the second week of a major. It's going to be a hot mess.
Oh, you went with you, Chad. You have seen my hair. I don't
because first
understand.
of all, y'all know Fiddling ain't winning no matches, right? She ain't winning no matches.
She'll sneak one out there.
Nope.
Breakfast.
Nope, she's not.
Well, I don't know. I'm gonna be asleep, so I'm gonna just count on y'all to tell me what happened. I can't wake up for Asia.
I'm gonna try to catch a few. What's the first one that's starting?
I think it's the red group.
Oh man, I saw the split of the group.
Yeah, I think it's Osaka versus Stevens and Burton's versus Kerber.
Why are they gonna eliminate all the brown people at once?
On paper, that's what I'm telling you. That's the red group for you, girl. That's the red group. That's the red group. I'm just saying that I think for these, I mean, like this is like the second week of a major on the women's side.
Is the red group. I think I want everybody to win in the red group. I don't want anybody.
Which can't happen, but okay. I think the people who are gonna come out, I'm gonna put a bowl. I'm gonna say Osaka and Kerber and Wozniacki and Kitova. Those are I'm gonna pick the top 4 seeds basically to get to the semifinal.
According to the WTA website, the white group kicks it off on Sunday. So Petra's gonna start with versus Svitolina. Ooh.
Okay.
I don't know.
Petra's gonna.
We forget. That's a little bit. Angie Kerber got rid of her coach, Wim Fissette.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
immediately. Everybody was getting taken aback by the word immediately affecting, but I mean, like when you get rid of coach, you don't put him out. I'm gonna get rid of him next week.
I know.
They usually say
you probably find out about it immediately, but it was probably established already. So
exactly. Yeah.
So who wins? By the time we record this again, it'll be over. So who wins this? Who do you say get out of the groups? You said
I said the alternate. Sabalenka.
Oh God.
Is anyone injured? Is anyone injured?
The courts.
Nobody's injured.
Right? I don't know. But the courts are supposed to be slow, so I'm going to go with slowness, the overall winner.
Yeah, Kerber. I'm going to go with Kerber. Sneak it out of there.
Okay.
Kerber or Caroline.
Nah, she doesn't do well when she's the number 1 seed. So I don't know about that.
Kerber versus Wozniacki somewhere.
I would love for it to be Sloan, but I don't want to see that wig though. But I mean, I think it might be Kitova. I'm giving it to Petra.
Has Sloan played Naomi Osaka? Did I miss that?
I don't know.
I'd like to see that match.
No,
they
haven't played each other.
Ooh, I want to see that match.
I don't know if they have, but they haven't.
Let me see.
But this would be. I mean, on paper, these matches look really compelling, but we know they're not going to be. We know that. Let's be 100 here.
Well, your ass will be up watching it. I know that.
Oh, okay. I'm going to try to make it happen. That's going to be on Monday at 4:30 in the morning. Okay, well, that's probably not going to happen live. But
okay.
Okay.
Pablo has Kiki Burton winning the whole thing.
Well, you never know. Pablo might be right. But, so somebody asked us on our timeline to talk about Naomi Osaka's post-US Open, didn't they? And Janina said she didn't care, which seems to sum up Janina.
Well, no, she basically admitted that, the kind of weight of pressure, she did well in Tokyo. I think she got to the finals or semifinals.
Yeah. She's done okay. She didn't fall off the face of the earth, can't win a match Sloan.
Yeah, right. She was fine. She was, but you know what's
fine, yeah.
You know what's interesting about her? I thought it was. I think it was fascinating that both with her and Sabalenka, people talk about them like they'll never lose again, and the next day they lose, like easily. And you're like, what happened?
Yeah, I think people are ready to make them a thing.
That's 100% of the WTA.
No, they just seem like they both ran out of gas in some strange way, you know? But like, I think Osaka's doing fairly well. I mean, getting to a final right after a slam win is pretty decent.
She looked really disinterested in that final, though. She was just like, fuck this shit.
Mm-hmm.
But she was playing solid for a bit and then thing. Anyway, to close it out, journalists, I'm just gonna put it out there when y'all ask a question. Y'all should ask follow-up questions to clarify things, okay? Don't be out here trying to just, get an angle. Serena's not y'all enemy. She's the only one selling tickets for y'all. Just saying.
Gosh, get off the Serena teeth. We're okay. She's gonna be okay.
I mean, she's gonna be okay, but I'm just simply saying when talking, and I'm speaking in reference to the Osaka debacle recently.
Oh God, I know.
Yeah,
that again.
Yeah, that hot mess. Yeah, like we're not even gonna revisit that issue, but it's just like if you ask a question, please clarify. Don't make it about you and whatever afterwards when there's no facts to support your conclusion. I'll just come out and be like, this is my opinion.
Okay. As for Chad, nobody's buying Bornet stock. No, I'm just kidding. I think he's gonna be fine. Top 10 by the end of the year. This year?
Pona Church.
Yeah, Chad.
Oh, I have to say, he did play really well. He was moving.
If we're
very well before
stock,
he's playing well.
After a solid 2018, and will he be the top 10 by the end of the year? I guess so. He's like almost what 15, top 15. Wow.
And Pona need to come out the closet because they be giving these gay boy teas all the time on Instagram.
Oh my God!
Just saying, girl.
Leave your fantasy.
Chad said he's number 13.
Leave.
Oh, no, I'm not interested in Pona. I'm not interested in Pona. Maya, you can have him. I'm being a good Judy. Maya can have Pona all to himself.
You know what? Bornet Church is good. The good thing about Bornet Church is he'll try. He'll be in the top and he'll try. He couldn't do much with Novak, but who can?
Is Janina doing that thing where she put her child on the podcast?
No, I didn't. I didn't do it. He came on his own this time.
She does it.
You are aware that is reducing your pay, right? We do not pay for children. We do not support children labor. So your child will not be getting a paycheck here. But anyway, fans. Anyway, let's go because Janina.
Okay, can I just make an announcement that if people want to know how to put on their makeup, Sasha Vickery's makeup for the BET Awards was very nicely done.
That's what I'm saying. There are girls out there who can help these women get through the struggle.
She looked great. Okay, she should have showed up. See, this is the thing, but you're not in the.
You're welcome, Maya. I'm a good Judy. You can have Pona all to yourself, Maya.
Look at you being generous to things you don't own.
Don't do me like that, Andre. Don't do me like that. I'm just feeling bad.
All right. Okay.
But anyway, so folks, there's a lot to look forward to. There's Basel, there is Vienna. There's just Basel really on the ATP. There's the men's finals. Maybe Monfils might win a title again. Woo! And the WTA finals is gonna be on and popping, hopefully.
I think
we know how that goes.
Did Serena win comeback player?
Yeah, Serena won comeback player of the year.
That's really great. That's really great.
Who is it? She got the 2 major finals after popping out a baby less than a year ago.
I know. And the newcomer is Sabalenka. I'll take that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But is she really new? How does newcomer really come about?
Anytime anybody recognizes you on the street.
Right. That works for me. That works for me.
All right.
And I agree. Because if Realz don't know you, you don't exist. And I know who she is. She gotta get a better kit though, because that kit that from the US Open isn't really flattering from behind. It's just making her look flat in the behind. Just saying, girl. Just saying. But anyway, moving on. Thank you all for joining our podcast, our 133rd podcast. We had fun. This went over like an hour more than Janina wanted to. Sorry. But you know what? She's being paid. She ain't working for free.
Why are you always shit on me?
Because that's what we always do from far in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I made this president happen. Yeah, you can't live that down, Janina. You cannot live that down.
Okay, the mommy of the podcast. It's been great though. We've missed you guys. We've missed tennis. I've been missing tennis. I'm looking forward to sitting down and watching it. I'm hoping I really some of the WTA. Well, I mean, I really want to catch some of the WTA final. Maybe Zoo High.
Well, the WTA is back on Tennis Channel now, right? So it should be easier for you to see it, if I'm not mistaken.
Did that actually start yet?
No, not yet. Next
Well,
year.
for next year, whatever they were doing, planning on doing, just in the work. We've been done. Tell you, then we listen to black people. I need to listen to black people more often. But anyway, black women specifically. Just saying. Even Chelsea Handler realizes that fact now. But anyway, she's just trying to quap all shit anyway. Anyway, folks, thank you, fans, for tuning and listening on your Friday night, and for those who are listening to now later on, we are so excited to have you here with us. Yes. So WTA gets Sasha Vickery and Heather Watson to be responsible for fashion and makeup next for any of these events. Okay. And Realz. Because I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I can trust these girls all the time. But I can trust Heather. I'm not so sure about Sasha just yet. But yeah.
I have to thank Chad. I have to thank Chad for always clocking our timelines with beautiful brown people. Those pictures of Sangha,
Monfils and Sangha.
That was nice. Thank you very much. We really
and Felix.
I'm not convinced that Chad's not a brown person too. I'm just not.
I mean, secretly on the inside.
Yeah, totally.
Chad, don't let them make you a male racial, okay? I've actually met one of those. It is not fun.
I love it. I mean, his brand is just right. Oh no, Terrence, I'm sorry you missed us. We are in and out.
You can catch us on the flip side.
Quick, tell us. He's like, who wins the WTA final?
I told you, Sabalenka.
Sabalenka. Oh, who do you think? Who do you think, Janina? You're really
Akitova.
I think you're pretty good at guessing.
I think Sloane's gonna win.
Yes. Yes. I hope so. We're not inviting anyone to the cookout until we release a few people that don't belong there.
Listen, Chad's from the South. He can maybe even bring the potato salad. Good night.
Bring you might not eat it, Chad, but it can sit at the table right next to.
All right, you're lovely.
All right, have a good night, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.